Can you hear me, Roz?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me, Roz?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I wanted to make sure that there's not going to be an echo. So we're good?
We're good. I hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Okay. We are getting started. I'm excited. Somebody didn't want this to happen.
I tell you.
Somebody didn't want this to happen because we knew that it's going to be some good stuff that's going to take place. So right now, I'm going to hit comment, but it's going to real quickly sound crazy because I want to be able to see the comments that come in. But it's going to real quickly. There we go. So, hi, Robert.
Hello, Tawanna. How are you? Good.
Good. So, everybody, I know we were supposed to start at 7 o'clock. Say something, Roz, because it seems like you're muted.
Can you hear me okay?
I got it.
Great.
Okay, so I know we were supposed to start at 7 o'clock. So those of you who hung in there with me or with us, we surely appreciate it. For some reason, I don't know what it is. Y'all get ready to hear some good stuff, and somebody didn't want y'all to hear it. However, we're gonna tell y'all some stuff. But first, Roz, I want to toast to women in history. Is that okay?
That's quite all right. I have some wonderfully aged water here.
And I have some great lemonade here. So I wanted to toast to women in history. I want to thank you for being one of my women in history. And thank you for saying yes. Thank you for saying yes when I asked you if you would come on and tell your story. So I appreciate you. And I am toasting with this amazing 1964 limited edition vintage aged to perfection that my bestie Rosalind gave me. So here you go. Here's to you, Rosalind.
Clink. And
Clink,
here's to
clink.
us. Absolutely.
Here's to us. Thank you.
It's good.
All right, let's get started because Rosalind has receipts, my friends. So I want y'all to bear with me. And if you come on, just say, hey, how y'all doing? How your mom and them? Just let us know that you're there. Put some little comments. We like to see some hearts going up. Let us know that you're there, right? So here we go. All righty. So I'm going to introduce Roz, and I want y'all to bear with me because, like I said, my girl got some receipts. Now, I'm going to tell y'all what I already know, right? I'm going to tell y'all some things about Rosalind I already know, all right? I already know that my friend is a visionary, right? Rosalind is a leader and a compassionate coach, transforming goals into achievements. Rosalind is a mother to 3 amazing humans, 1 adult son, 1 teenage son, and 1 preteen daughter. And we're going to get into that dynamic in this interview. She is the Chief Human Resource Officer for a global brand nonprofit organization with over 2 decades of experience in HR leadership. Her career has seen her excel in similar roles across various organizations, consistently turning ambitious goals into tangible achievements. You see why I attached my bandwagon to her? Rosalind is the founder of Monday Morning Consultants LLC. She is the creative force behind Monday Morning Consultants LLC, where she skillfully merges empathy with strategic insight. Her certification in diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, and access underscores her commitment to fostering inclusive environments. I'm sorry, someone called while I'm doing this. In her 25 years of coaching and leadership, Rosalind has been a steadfast advocate for client success amidst the complexities of an ever-evolving world. Roslan's dedication to community service is unparalleled. She holds a position on the Alvord Unified School District Board as the president and chair of the African American Parent Advisory Committee. Additionally, she contributes her expertise to the boards of 2 other nonprofit organizations, further demonstrating her commitment to impactful service. Now, academic and professional excellence, Roslan is currently pursuing a doctoral degree in human resources, where her academic pursuits complement her extensive list of credentials. She holds, this is the receipts, my friends, a bachelor's in psychology, a master's in leadership and nonprofit management, a master's in law, and a certification in DEI from Cornell. Beyond academics achievement, Roslan is a certified life coach, a mental health and trauma-informed coach, and a grief coach specializing in supporting and empowering women through her. What is her? H-E-R, Healed, Empowered, and Restored initiative. Roslan's advocacy extends to her role as a court-appointed special advocate, where she champions the needs of the vulnerable. Her influence is not confined to the boardrooms or classrooms. She lights up the stages as keynote speakers and provides guidance and support as a licensed minister. Roslan Monday embodies the essence of inspiring leadership. Her dedication to her faith, family, and her community, coupled with her unwavering commitment to inclusivity and empowerment, make her a beacon of hope and strength in both her HR realm and beyond. Her passion is contagious and her impact is profound, making Roslan a true leader of our time. I present to others some and introduce to others my bestie, my friend, my sister at heart, Miss Roslan Monday. Woohoo! Roslan. What you know about that? What you know about that?
Boy, you made me sound like impressive, Tawanna. Jeez, I want to know her.
Girl, I'm so glad I know her. I am so glad I know her. But I always tell people God gave me the best friend ever, right? And I am so glad that that you're a part of my life. And I have people trying to get in. I don't know what's going on here, but I want to share. I'm going to share with some of our audience so that people can come on. So right now I'm going to share us out to some people so that they'll know that we are here.
All right.
Yes. At least that's what I thought I was going to do. Let's see how that works. Okay, so Roslan, let's get into it so people can understand some of these receipts that I just read, right? We want you to be able to explain some of the things that I said, because I know a lot of people are like, wow, right? I have the platform that's Pivot with Purpose, Over 50 and Fabulous. Roslan is a part of that platform. She's actually one of the administrators on Pivot with Purpose. But I want you all to just listen. I put in the chat when I first did this that bring your beverage of choice. Like Roslan said, she had her water, I have my lemonade. So whatever your beverage of choice is, have it. Come sit a spell with us, as our moms would say, right? So Roslan, what I want you to first do is tell everyone about Monday Morning Consultants and how it came to be.
Wow, well, thank you. So, Monday morning consulting is really, it started off as human resources consulting boutique company, right? It came about because I'd been in human resources for a great number of years, and I had worked for a specific company for a little over 20 years. And there came a time when I needed to transition out of the workforce for my family. I had just recently adopted my two children. And so during that gap, needed to continue to earn income. So I formed Monday Morning Consultants. And my initial primary client was my former employer. I worked in a consulting capacity for them. And then I amassed a number of other clients through that process. As I said, it started off as a human resources specific consulting brand. But then once I expanded my education and I went back to school for human services and organizational development, I started to then branch out and do other consulting pieces within the Monday Morning brand.
Okay, okay. So that kind of puts me into my next question for you, right? I
Yes.
want to know, because you know me, I consider myself dabbling into HR. That was not something that I chose for myself. But it seems like, well, I know you, so you're excellent in it. And that's where I go to. You are my go-to person for my questions when it comes to HR. So did why did you choose HR, or did this career path, or do you think that HR chose you?
HR absolutely chose me. In fact, I worked for a major airline some years ago. And if I told you what year it was, I'd be dating myself. You know, but the world doesn't know. So we won't talk about how long ago that was.
It's okay,
And
girl, because you look good.
thank you, girl. You too. So when I started when I worked for that company, I was an employee advocate, right? I wasn't in human resources, and we actually did a lot of union avoidance work, right? And unfortunately, there came a time when all of the OSHA regulations came down, and the area where I worked moved out of the state of California and transitioned to another state in Texas. And so during that period of time, I was out of work, and I had a really wonderful friend who opened his own business, and he hired me to be his office administrator, which also then entailed being his human resources person. So I decided, because I was already doing employee advocacy with the airline, I went back to school and I got my certification in human resources over at Cal State Long Beach. And I got a certification for over a semester and did every aspect of HR. And I worked for his company for 2 years and kind of fine-tuned and honed my skills. And then I started with the company that I was with for 20 years, and I started there in the human resources department as a recruiter. I went from being a recruiter, and I did it so well. And fortunately, it was a great company, especially being that tender in my career. I went from being a recruiter to being the manager of operations. And from operations, because I really do have such a passion for people. I love people, if you can believe that. I
Yeah.
I went from being in operations into being employee relations, right? And when I got into the space of employee relations, it was all about disciplinary actions and what the employee did wrong. And I'm thinking, well, what did the company do to actually curtail that, right? did the company provide the resources, the training, the wherewithal? Is the supervisor doing their job? And so I took employee relations and I turned it around in that company, right? So for a number of years, I worked in the employee relations division. And then I started doing compensation and benefits, and it just grew until I was a senior director in that organization, transition. And again, I was there for over 20 years. I didn't pick HR. HR just kind of chose me. And people would say, oh my God, all they do in HR is plan parties. So I was really excited when I got hooked into it, but only if they knew. But it's been a great joy. I spent 20 years there. And when I transitioned from there, that's when I opened Monday Morning. I spent quite a few years working with attorneys for ever in my role. Uh, but I've been deposed, more than 30 times. I've been an expert witness and at trial. And so I thought, do I want to be a lawyer? So I went back to school and I got a law degree. I got a master's in law, and then I was going to go ahead and work to sit and take the bar. But I learned I didn't really want to be a lawyer. I really did have the passion for people in HR. So after that, I went to another major brand nonprofit where I spent several years there as vice president and chief people officer within the human resources department as well. So it's just been a wonderful ride in HR.
And I'm so glad you took that ride, because because no, really, because I always say that God, I can be selfish. I know that. But I'll say that I believe that God gives us our friends. He provides, he puts people in our lives who he knows that we're going to lead. So Rosalind knows on any given Sunday and sometimes on Tuesday, I might call her up or send her a text message and say, Roz, what should I do? Or Roz, this happened, and I need you to tell me if I should do X, Y, and Z. And
Yeah.
she's gonna say, yeah, don't do that one, Tawanna. Because sometimes I just really want to dive on into it and say, girl, I want it. And she was like, nope, that's not a good idea. Don't do that. Hold on to it.
Hold on.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be okay. Don't do that. And so I praise God that I have her in my life because again, each one of us brings a different skill set to our friendship, to our sisterhood. And
Yeah.
so we have Katrina on here who says, hi, my beautiful friends. I don't know why she didn't say hi, my beautiful besties, but we all right with that.
We're all right.
We all right with that. And then we have Jean, my good girlfriend, who says employee relations is tough, Rosalind. She
It
says
can be.
relations
Absolutely.
is tough. And so, I work in HR as well. Nothing compared to the things that Rosalind does. So that's why I have to ask some questions. And I do agree, employee relations is tough because they will bring you some things, all the things. That's the inside.
All of them.
All the things. That's the inside joke. All
Yeah.
the things, right? And so you have to have the confidentiality, you have to have the mindset, the bandwidth, all of that, Roz. And so you have done this stuff, all of this. And then with the degrees that you have, some people don't know this about me. It took me 40 years to go back to school. Now they told me, and I'll say they because it was Katrina and Rosalind, that I should. But I was that girl who said, I don't need to go back to school. Well, why do I need to go back to school? I got a job. I don't need to go back to school. And they were like trailblazers. They were trailblazers. And you'll hear from Katrina later. But for Rosalind, trailblazers. It seems like she was always in school to learn something. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not me, not doing it, not going back to school, can't, don't want to, get somebody else to do it. And then one day it hit me and I went back to school.
Yes.
And I had the nerve to ask Rosalind one day about a human resource class. don't think it took her 15 minutes to email me the link to Cal State Long Beach first class and told me the day that it was going to start.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said it because maybe I wasn't really ready for that. But I'm telling you, she's a wealth of knowledge. She is a wealth of knowledge. And so if you want to ask her a question, ask me, I'll ask her for you. I got you. I got you. So Jean says, human capital is not looked at like it should be. It takes a lot of noise sometimes for managers and supervisors to reward them for their work. Agreed.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I agree, Jean. Um, so yeah, I always say y'all need to have some friends like me. Y'all need to have some friends like me. And so, Roslan, we've talked about this. And like I said, some of the things that we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, I know the answers, but I'd like for you all to know the answers. And so we've always talked about there's a difference between a purpose and a passion. First, I want you to tell us, what do you feel your purpose is?
I don't, at the risk of sounding super spiritual,
It's okay.
right?
It's okay. Everybody know we Jesus girls. We church girls.
We're church girls. We're church girls. I believe my purpose really is to worship God and to spread his word and to show love in every way that I can, everywhere I go. And in that, I believe that my gifts have made room for me to actually live in my purpose, right? I recently transitioned roles because I was with a different company and it did not align at all with my values. And I did not feel like I was living in my purpose, right? So I believe that I am here to love God's children and to help bring light and to actually help them to find their purpose and to pursue their goals. And where I was, that was not happening. I believe that in the human resources and human services area, which is what my doctoral is in, that I'm able to pursue my purpose. And that goes along with the mentoring, and that goes along with the HER program, which is Healed, Empowered, and Restored. That goes along with all of the things that I do within the human capital or the human resources or the people business, right? Because it really is about the people. And so I'm just inspired to worship God and to help others to find their purpose where they can also worship God.
Which is so true. And I can say this about her because there's another thing that Rosna will do. She's gonna send you a scripture and she's gonna tell you that she's praying for you. And we're okay with that. Because we can say to any of us what we're going through. We just have that type of relationship, right? And we'll say what we're going through. And like I said, any given Sunday and sometimes on Tuesday, you will get a scripture from Rosalind that's going to help you get through whatever that is that you are going through. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for letting everybody know what your purpose is. So now I want to know what you're passionate about. What brings all the boys to the yard?
On the Facebook app, really? No.
Okay, we can. All right, all right. We don't have to do what brings all the boys to the yard, but no. What is your secret sauce? What are you passionate about?
Oh my gosh. That there are so many things, but I'm passionate really just about so many things. And I think that also shows in the fields and the types of roles or jobs that I choose. I'm passionate about people. And again, I'm not placating. I'm not really just trying to be this super person, but I'm passionate about entertaining in my home. I'm passionate about reaching out to people. And, you and I have that same bug together. In fact, our paths and are so parallel where we both dibble and dabble in event planning,
Right.
right? We both love to, we're both coaches. We're both actually in human resources. We both have the same bestie, Miss Katrina Walker Donaldson, right? So we have so many things in common. And then, at the end of the day, I'm just passionate about my family. And you and I have that in common
Yes.
as
Yes.
well, right? So I'm as a grief counselor, I like to help people really celebrate their loved ones and those that have been lost and help them to understand the difference between mourning and grief and just all things people. My adult son to my, teenage son who, oh my God, he's 14. Do you
Ah,
remember what that was like?
I remember those babies. I'm just shocked that he's a teenager now. I'm just shocked that he's a teenager now.
He's a teenager, and my daughter is a tween.
Ah,
So
yeah,
yeah, we've got lots of emotions in my house at this period of time because I
yes.
got my own.
Right. And you know what, Roz? I'm so glad that you mentioned that because I've asked you, I think I've asked you some of the hard questions, the ones about your career and things that you're passionate about. But I want this also to be a little fun, right?
Yeah,
So we know we always have to have a work-life balance. It
got
can't be
to.
work, 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 and then there's no play, right?
Right.
So I want, you to share with us. I want things that we're going to include your family and fun and self-care, right? And you mentioned your adult son and you mentioned your teenage son and your tween daughter. I want you to tell the audience your amazing story about how you guys became a cohesive family.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that opportunity. I really, I count it all joy. It's a blessing. So, in, let's see, in 2014, I actually remarried in 2014. And in that same year, my children were displaced. And I'll just put it that way. And in 2015, I had the opportunity to start fostering them for adoption. And in the end of 2015, they came to live with me full time. And the adoption process took a longer period of time than anyone would expect, but actually, finally, they were adopted, and it just has brought so much joy to my life. Now, my babies are related to me by blood, and so of course, my family we would not allow them to be in the foster care system, and other family members tried as well, but ultimately they were best placed with me, and I could not be happier. Uh, Ultimately, my marriage did not work. you
It
know,
happens. It happens.
life continues, and I sometimes I just believe that the whole purpose of that really could have been to get me to the point where I was successfully adopting my children. And during COVID and actually during some difficult times, my adult son moved in with me to assist me in raising my children because I had a very busy career, single parent over 50 with babies. A single parent over 50 with children that were 5 and 7. That was difficult. So my adult son, gave up so much of his life and freedom to really help me. And I could never thank him enough for that. And so we
Go
all,
land.
that's right, go Lance. So we all live here and happy. Now that the kids are tweens and teens, Lance goes about and does his own thing, but I'm able to work and really not have to have that angst about, if they're okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And you know me, I always tip my hat. I tip my hat to you because I said in the beginning, good people, Tawanna selfish. I have a 33-year-old. We won't even go into my
Yeah.
marriage and all of that. That's a whole nother thing. So we're gonna stick with Rosalind right now. And kudos to you. You are doing an amazing job with those babies. They're not babies anymore, but I remember when they were babies.
Yes.
And so I have watched them grow. I've watched how you have raised them and how you have nurtured them and how you have helped them to be, as you say, the humans that they are today.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been quite a journey. It really has. And uh, people will often remark how blessed my children are. And, but I tell people I am so blessed that they came into my life. I mean, they keep me young. In fact, my daughter is honest. And she was showing me a dance she learned in school today. I got it too.
Come
The thing about that is she doesn't dance, but she joined a dance class in school this week. And it's really great to see her personality coming out and her just being blossoming into a young woman. It's so wonderful. My son is 14 and he's actually um, identified that girls are not yicky.
on. Oh, wow. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. So as I said, there are a whole lot of emotions in my house right now.
Yes. And Roz, I wanted to do this because it's Women's History Month. And
Yeah,
I have said in some of my lives that a lot of people, when they hear about Women's History Month, they think about the Oprahs and the Michelle Obamas and the Maya Angelos and all the people that you see on TV. But we don't stop to acknowledge the women in our history. And I wanted to
absolutely.
take the time with the platform that I have to acknowledge the women that are in my life and who I think are amazing women and how we are making history and how somebody one day is going to say, let me tell you about Rosalind.
Mm.
Let me tell you about how she inspired me. And that's why I wanted to do this, is because I don't think women get enough kudos. We have a month when we're living life and doing things and rocking and doing it all year round. But they give us a month,
Absolutely.
they give us our month and we go, okay, thank you. But we don't hear about the us's, the ones
Absolutely. Just
that are doing it, that we out there 10 toes down working it out, you
the
know,
everyday
and
heroes.
the
Absolutely.
everyday people. And so I wanted to make sure that at least my women in history were acknowledged and people knew what my friends and my sisters were doing. And so thank you for being able to come on here and tell me that. I have a couple of more questions and then I'm gonna let you go because I know we getting home from work and y'all, today was a day for Rosalind and I. For some reason, our computers decided they weren't gonna cooperate. It wasn't like the first one with me and Jean when I didn't know what the heck I was doing. This one I was prepared for. I knew what buttons to push. I knew what buttons not to push. The computer just wouldn't come on. And so we here, but we decided that we was gonna keep pushing
We're gonna
and
keep
we were gonna
pushing.
make it through. We were gonna make it through. And so what I want to ask you is, you have a preteen or tween daughter, but if you had the chance to tell your little self, your younger self, if you had something that you wanted to share with your younger self, what would you tell her?
It's gonna be all right.
Baby, baby, it's gonna be all right.
Baby, just keep going.
You
Just
sound like Roro, baby.
yes, yes, yes. And she told me that several times, but I tell you, especially when we were young girls, I just had no clue. I mean, this is a connection from age 13, right? And I absolutely had no clue what life was about to be. I got married at 18 years old because in my mind, of course, I was in love and all of those things, but I didn't think I would. I mean, in my mind, 60 was old.
Old,
And so I thought at
baby.
18, that was, I need to get married now and do all of these things. You got time. Just keep going. It's going to be all right. Now, my marriage at 18, I would not advise anyone to do that at 18 right now. However, it was one of the greatest gifts of my life. And from that marriage, I had a wonderful son and some great relationships and an extended family. But I would not advise any young person to get married at 18. But yeah, that's what I would tell myself. It's gonna be all right, baby girl. Just keep going. You
Just
got
keep,
this.
as they would say, just keep a living.
Just keep living.
Keep a living.
The
Okay,
sun will come up tomorrow.
the sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar. Y'all know I can't sing, but y'all, we got that thing. Well, we gonna sing. We gonna sing if a
Don't
word if it
sing.
comes up.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
So, a couple of more fun things. What do you do for fun? What's your favorite movie?
Oh my world. What do I do for fun? So, most of my fun events happen to be dealing with a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old and all of the things that they have to do. But
Okay.
when I do get some time, I enjoy my besties, Katrina and Tawanna. Again, that's a relationship that's hard to beat. It's, since 13, that's a real long time. I spend a lot of time with my brother and my sister. My mother passed away, unfortunately, 3 years ago, just this past week. It was through 3 years. And so I spend a lot of time with family, doing a lot of family outings. But if it's just talking about me, I love a good spa day. I love a wonderful massage.
Bible. I was gonna say she better say something about a spa day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I have been a Burke Williams member for longer than I can remember, right? I love a good spa day. I love to go wine tasting. I absolutely love a good cha-cha and some 80s and 90s R&B music. I just love spending time. Yeah. And if it's a good day and I can get my walk on, I love to go down to the beach. Now that's my happy place. I could just be on the water
Yes.
forever. I love to cruise. I haven't been on a cruise since the pandemic, but I'm going to I'm planning a family cruise this summer, so
Gotta make
excited.
it
It'll be
happen.
my kids' first time on the water. So we're excited.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Roz. What
Yeah.
I want you to close us out with is what do you want people to know about Rosalind Monday?
What do I want people to know about Rosalind Monday? Well, for sure, what you see is really what you get. I am authentic and true. I am altruistic, kind-hearted, but don't mess with me. I'm my mother's daughter.
You are Roro's daughter, Rosie.
That's it. I'm kind and gentle. And, even at 60, there's still so much more life to live. There's there's a whole world out there and, I plan to get my part of it. It's life is worth living. That's what I want everybody to know about me. And I won't let anyone or anything steal my joy or my dreams.
And that is awesome. And I have to say this about Rosalind. If Rosalind is your friend, she is your friend. And I don't care if we are 500 miles away in the middle of the desert at midnight and we call her up and say, I got a flat tire. Rosalind's going to figure out a way to get somebody 500 miles away to get to us with the flat tire and fix that flat tire.
Come on.
We don't have to worry about that because she's going to figure it out. Now, she might not be the one that's going to drive at the middle of the night, but she's going to get there. Somebody going to bring her to us
We're
so
gonna
that
make
we
it
can get,
happen.
she's going to make it happen, y'all. She is going to make it happen. And so, Rosalind, my friend, my sister, my bestie, thank you. Thank you, my confidant, my secret keeper, my in the vault, triple 007 top secret in the vault, clink clink
Clink,
girl.
clink. That's it.
That's it. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for your yes. And I appreciate you. Please know
Tawanna,
that I appreciate you.
thank you. And thank you for even the ask. I really appreciate it. And I'm super proud of you. And we've got to interview you at some
Ah,
point because you are making amazing strides. You are doing you're doing the thing. And I'm so very proud of you. Thank you.
thank you. Thank all the things, Katrina. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's it for us tonight. Thank you all for coming on. Thank you for your comments. We appreciate you. We love you. If you feel so inclined, share this with a friend or a family member. We appreciate that because
Absolutely.
someone out there needs to be delivered and set free from this story because life is not over. You still can do it. So until have a super terrific, amazing day on purpose because I will be watching. Because we support those who believe they could, but struggle with if they should. And baby, the transformation will be televised. We're going to see y'all soon. Stay tuned for the next interview because it's coming, baby. See you later, Roz. I'll chat
Thanks.
later.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye bye.